Umunze lay quietly at the foot of the rolling hills of Anambra, surrounded by forests that whispered ancient secrets and streams that flowed like silver threads through the land. It was a village rich with heritage, guardian spirits, and a proud tradition of masquerades. Among them, none matched Ijèlè, the king of masks, towering, majestic, and feared. The Ijèlè was not merely a mask. It was a covenant between the living and the ancestors. Every 7 years, Umunze hosted the Festival of Ijèlè Rising, a week-long celebration that attracted people from neighboring towns. Nkwo Umunze, Owerre-Ezukala, Ajalli, and even faraway Enugu villages. The climax of the festival was when the Ijèlè appeared, carried by a chosen dancer who had trained for years to bear its weight and spiritual significance. But 3 weeks before the sacred festival, something happened for the first time in the village's history. The Ijèlè head, the sacred crown, went missing, and with it began a storm that would swallow an innocent boy. A boy named Obina, 25 years old. The morning sun rose lazily over Umunze, brushing the bamboo groves with gold birds chirped in shrill chorus, as if trying to warn the village of what the day held. Obina was returning from the stream with a clay pot balanced on his shoulder. He was a quiet young man, tall and gentle-faced, known for helping the elderly and rarely raising his voice. He lived with his widowed mother in a small compound near the Ikpa River. As he walked through the path that led to Oi Market, he noticed something strange. Women standing in groups, talking in harsh whispers. Men moved hurriedly with worried faces, and even the children seemed unusually quiet. Obina stopped one of the market women. "Auntie Ada, what is happening?" She looked at him as if he had asked a forbidden question. "You have not heard—" "Heard what?" She lowered her voice. "The head of the Ijèlè is missing." Obina blinked. He thought he heard wrongly. "What did you say?" "We woke up this morning and the guards at the Ijèlè shrine said it was gone. Disappeared. The elders are gathered already." Obina felt his chest tighten. The Ijèlè head was sacred, carved from ancient Iroko wood, adorned with colorful fabric, cowries, and feathers from rare birds. No one touched it except the 2 chief priests and the chosen dancer. But missing? Impossible. He hurried toward the village square. Already a crowd had filled the open space, murmuring anxiously as the village gong sounded 3 times. The town crier, a short elderly man with a deep voice, shouted, "Ndi Umunze, Kedunu, gather, something terrible has happened." The murmuring stopped. "The head of the Ijèlè is stolen." Shock tore through the crowd like lightning. Women screamed. Men gasped. Some old people fell to their knees, crying at the insult to the ancestors. Among the elders seated on the high platform was Chief Priest Okpala, a tall man with chalk markings on his forehead. His voice trembled with controlled anger. "The shrine guards said they saw someone last night, roaming near the sacred hut." Gasps rose again. "Did they see the person's face?" Someone shouted. "They said the person was a young man," the priest answered. Already eyes began to turn, not toward an actual suspect, but toward any young man who looked unfamiliar, quiet, or suspicious. Unfortunately, Obina arrived at that moment, and his life changed forever. Obina pushed his way gently through the crowd, trying to get closer to the elders people whispered as he passed, but he didn't notice, until he heard a voice. "There! That's him!" He froze. A group of young men, 3 hunters led by Odogwu, the most boastful youth in the village, pointed at him. "That is the boy I saw last night near the shrine," Odogwu shouted. A murmur spread like wildfire. Obina's mouth fell open. "Me? I was at home!" The crowd surged around him. Chief Priest Okpala narrowed his eyes. "Obina, you were seen near the shrine at midnight?" Obina shook his head wildly. "No, I was asleep." But the guard stepped forward. "We could not see the person's face clearly," one guard admitted, "but he was tall, slender, like this one." Odogwu banged his walking stick on the ground. "I swear I saw him with my eyes." Obina knew Odogwu disliked him because Amaka, the girl Odogwu wanted to marry, was close friends with Obina. He had never expected jealousy to turn into something this dangerous. "Obina," the chief priest said, Do you deny being near the Ijèlè shrine? I deny it, Obinna cried. The crowd didn't listen. A woman screamed, He wants to destroy us! A man shouted, Ijèlè will bring calamity for this. Voices rose, hot and angry. Tie him! Take him to the shrine! Make him confess! Before he could react, strong arms grabbed him, dragging him toward the very shrine he had never dared approach at night. The Ijèlè shrine sat deep inside the grove behind the market. The path was narrow, lined with palm fronds tied in sacred knots. The shrine itself was a small mud structure, painted with white chalk and decorated with red symbols. Cowries hung from its roof, and the air smelled of incense and ancient secrets. They dragged Obinna inside. He fell on his knees before the empty wooden stand where the Ijèlè head used to sit. His mother ran after the crowd, screaming, but the guards held her back. Chief Priest Okpala stepped forward. Obinna, the ancestors do not lie. The Ijèlè head vanished only a few hours ago. If you confess, the spirits may show mercy. I have nothing to confess, Obinna cried. I did not enter this grove. I have never even touched the sacred stand. The priest stared at him for a long, cold moment. Then he spoke. This is a grave crime. The Ijèlè cannot rise without its head. The festival must not fail, or our land will suffer famine and death. For now, you will be held responsible. A murmur of agreement rose. Odogwu smirked. Obinna's mother fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. My son is innocent. Please, he is innocent. But no one listened. And so Obinna was taken to the village square, tied to the tall Udala tree where criminals awaited judgment. The sun beat down on him. Every hour felt like a century. His only hope was that the truth would somehow surface. But truth was far away, and danger was very close. Not far from the village, deep inside the thick forest of Umunze, two men whispered urgently near a buried wooden box. One was Ifeanyi, a rejected elder who had been expelled from the masquerade cult years earlier for breaking ancestral rules. The other was Chuka, a young man greedy for wealth and easily manipulated. Chuka wiped sweat from his face. Are you sure this will work? Ifeanyi smiled darkly. Once the festival is ruined, the elders will call for new spiritual consultations. They will need a new custodian. That will be me. But what about the boy they accused? What about him? Ifeanyi snapped. His suffering is not our concern. The village wronged me, and it will pay. Chuka swallowed hard. They opened the wooden box. Inside, wrapped in red cloth, was the Ijèlè head glorious. Sacred, stolen. Chuka stared at it with fear. Shouldn't we sell it to that man from the other village? Not yet, Ifeanyi hissed. We must hide it until the festival is ruined. But little did they know. They had been seen. A young hunter, Nkwo, hiding behind a tree while checking his traps, watched everything silently. His heart hammered. He knew the truth now. But Ifeanyi was dangerous. Chuka was unpredictable. If Nkwo confronted them alone, they might kill him and bury him beside the stolen head, so he remained hidden, plotting. That night, as Obinna lay tied under the Udala tree, something strange happened. A cold wind blew through the village, cicadas fell silent. Dogs whimpered. The moon hid behind clouds. Then from the darkness of the grove, a soft hum began, like the fluttering of many wings. People peeked through windows. A tall figure walked slowly into the village square, draped in white, glowing faintly. It stopped before the Udala tree and looked at Obinna with eyes that were not human. Obinna felt a chill crawl down his spine. Who are you? The voice that replied sounded like many voices speaking at once. I am the voice of the ancestors. Obinna trembled. You are innocent, the spirit said. Your hands are clean, but evil hides in the shadows of the forest. When dawn comes, truth will move. Then the spirit touched his forehead. Obinna fainted. When he awoke hours later, the spirit was gone, but something new filled him. Hope. By morning, Nkwo had made up his mind. He gathered his courage and went straight to the elders. The village was still in chaos, people shouting, women crying, men sharpening cutlasses in case the festival truly brought doom. Nkwo lifted his hands. I have something to say. The crowd turned. Chief Priest Okpala frowned. What is it, Nkwo? Nkwo swallowed. I know where the Ajalli head is. Gasps erupted. What are you saying? One elder shouted. I saw the thieves, Akeni continued. Ifeanyi the outcast, and Chuka. They stole it. I saw the box where they hid it. Voices thundered. Ifeanyi? Impossible. That man is dangerous. This boy is lying. But Chief Priest Okpala raised a hand. Akeni, if you are lying, the spirits will punish you. If you are telling the truth, show us. I will. A team of strong men, the guards, the chief priest, and even Odogwu followed Ikane into the forest. Deep inside the grove, behind large rocks, Ikane pointed. There! They dug around the spot. They hit the wood. They pulled it out. They opened it. And there it was. The Ijèlè head. The elders staggered back. Some fell to their knees. The truth had surfaced. The village erupted in rage. Ifeanyi and Chuka were captured trying to flee toward the hills. They were dragged back into the square, beaten, tied, and forced to kneel before the elders. Chief Priest Okpala glared at them. You have defiled the ancestors. You have brought shame to Umunze, Ifeanyi spat. This village betrayed me long before I betrayed it. But no one wanted to hear him. The elders declared the punishment. They would be exiled permanently, their names struck from all ancestral records, their compounds cleansed with ritual fire. The crowd roared approval. Obina was untied immediately. His mother ran to him, crying tears of relief and joy. Even Odogwu could not look him in the eye. Ikene placed a hand on Obina's shoulder. You see? Spirits do not sleep. The day of the festival came. Drums echoed through Umunze, flutes sang. Women danced in colorful wrappers. Children painted their faces with chalk. At noon, the sacred moment approached. The dancer chosen to bear Ijèlè stepped into the square. Trembling under the weight of destiny, Chief Priest Okpala carried the newly retrieved Ijèlè head toward him. The crowd held their breath. He lifted it, placed it gently. A hush fell. Then the drums began. Boom, 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 boom. Ijèlè rose, majestic, towering, glorious. Its feathers swayed like waves. Its colors shimmered under the sun. Cowries rattled softly like whispers of the ancestors. The crowd screamed, Ijèlè! 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 As it danced, the village felt their spirits return, their pride restored. But then, something unexpected happened. Ijèlè turned toward Obina and bowed. The crowd gasped. Chief Priest Okpala's eyes widened. The ancestors honor you, he said in awe. You were falsely accused, but you remain pure. Today you stand blessed. Tears rolled down Obina's cheeks. After the festival ended, life slowly returned to normal. People greeted Obina with newfound respect. Mothers taught their children his name. Odogwu apologized publicly, kneeling before the entire village. Obina forgave him. The elders invited Obina to join the masquerade cult, not as a dancer, but as a spiritual custodian. You protected Ijèlè even in your suffering, Chief Priest Okpala said. The spirits have marked you. Obina accepted. His mother's heart swelled with pride. Akane was honored too. His bravery saved the entire village. As for Ifeanyi and Chuka, they vanished into exile, swallowed by the forests of forgotten men. And Umunze moved forward, stronger, united, unbroken. Years later, elders would gather under the moonlight and tell children, there was a time when the head of Ajalli disappeared. There was a time when an innocent boy was accused. There was a time when our village nearly fell apart. And the children would ask, so what saved us? And the elders would smile, truth, courage, and the spirit of Umunze. For in that fateful year, something greater than fear rose, the truth walked. The ancestors whispered, and justice danced in the form of Ijèlè.